guys, Jamieleigh here from BirdTricks with an awesome topic today. I'm so excited to share this video with you. It is about a technique called the power pause. And the reason we call it the power pause is all the power is in the pause. And I want to explain it to you guys. Not only do I want to explain how it works, but I want to explain how it doesn't work so that you guys are utilizing it to the best of this technique's ability and getting success and having success with it. So I want to make it super clear that this technique is simply for getting close to your bird. So if you have a bird that avoids you, that you can't give a treat to, that you can't get close to because it either flies or runs away, a bird that is scared of you, reacts when you are 10 feet away and just flails around in its cage or whatever it is, this is for the birds whom you cannot hand a treat because they are so fearful of you and don't like you that they will not even accept a treat from you. This can be aggression and this can be fear. So if you can't get close for either of those reasons, this is the technique for you to use. Disclaimer, this is not for touching, this is not for petting, this is not for anything else other than achieving the end result of being able to get close to your bird. Okay? I just want to make that super clear that that is what this technique is designed to do. It is not designed for you to pet your bird, to get your bird to step up. It is merely for you to be able to get close to your bird without your bird freaking out. I felt like this video would only be super effective if you guys were able to clearly see how to use this technique successfully and see the transformation of using it successfully, but also to see what it doesn't look like and how not to use it, because I feel like that's equally important in understanding it as a whole and not messing it up with your bird. So I am going to show you first what this technique doesn't look like. And I know it's gonna be a little brutal to watch because nobody likes seeing animals uncomfortable. If you do, you're sicko. But I felt like for educational purposes, I needed to show what that looked like so you guys knew what not to do, because honestly, this is a technique that we work with a lot with people in their homes because we're there coaching them through it, but it is a harder one to send somebody home to do on their own without that coaching, because a lot of people miss the subtle signs of discomfort and they're waiting for the way obvious signs of discomfort, which means you blew out the threshold already. So if it's super obvious, like I'm going to show you, you're doing it wrong. So for educational purposes, we did it wrong to show you what it looks like. But then we fixed it. As you'll see later, we have our transformation. All right, some key bits in properly doing the power pause. Step one is finding that sweet spot. You gotta find a starting point. There has to be a certain distance that the bird tolerates your presence. It might be 10 feet, it might be 20 feet, I don't know. You gotta find that distance where your bird doesn't care about your presence. So it might mean that you're across the room. For us, it was about 10 feet. I suck with numbers, so if you guys are like, yeah, that's not 10 feet, okay, I don't know. But, you know, this is a good distance away. It was within being able to film it. You gotta find that spot. Find your starting point. That's number one, where the bird is not freaking out that you are right there, but isn't fully like, hey, this is awesome. Would prefer you gone. Obviously, that's the birds we're dealing with, but is not freaking out. So, find your starting point. Okay, rule number 2 of properly doing the power pause, do not have anything chaotic going on while you're working on this technique. No screaming kids through the room, no other animals that would go up and sniff the bird or something while it's on the stand to distract it or startle it, no conversations going on, no phones going off, no TVs on, no radios on, nothing. This needs to be a super calm, chill environment with minimal, if any, distractions. Try to limit distractions on this. And the reason is even you talking during the power pause is a distraction. I don't even want you to talk during the power pause. I know, it's getting a little crazy, but it's what really helps dial this training technique in and makes sure that it is successful. The other reason we don't want these distractions is I don't want you distracted. If you're the one doing the power pause with your bird, you have to be so 100% in on watching your bird's body language. You can have somebody there who's also not speaking that is maybe at a different angle that could maybe give you a hand signal to help you out. That's kind of how Dave and I were. But you guys just need to not have a conversation when you're actually in the progression of implementing the power pause and that one person is moving forward. So just saying, those are the rules of the power pause. Again, I want to point out that you can use this for both aggressive and fearful birds. Your body language might be slightly different with those two birds. You're trying not to provoke an aggressive bird to come at you, and you're trying to not provoke a fearful bird to flee from you. So you're kind of dealing with two different things, but this is a technique that you can use on both fearful and aggressive birds. Okay, so let's talk about what you guys just saw. Now, there was no pause. If you didn't catch that, that's what was missing from that last clip where you saw Dave approaching the African gray. Now, he found his starting point, which was awesome. He wasn't talking, he wasn't having any distractions going on. However, he never paused, and this is called the power pause because you gotta pause. The pause is the part where you are respecting the bird's body language, the early signs of that body language saying, you're making me uncomfortable. Stop where you are, pause, wait for me to calm down, and then back off. You walking away is the reinforcement here. That is what is rewarding the bird because you cannot give a positive reinforcement, we are giving a negative reinforcement, which means we're taking something away, which is the person's presence, in order to reinforce for calm. So we're teaching the bird, calm down quickly and quicker each time that you see this person, and the person will go away. As you can see, Dave starts over. He finds that sweet spot where it is tolerated that his presence is there. The bird is actually very calm with his presence that far away. And as he approaches, he ignores the subtle signs of body language, which is the bird paying attention to the fact that he's there, the feathers streamlining, the weight shifting and the bird having to actually turn around and make contact, and then the more obvious signs of crouching down, showing obvious signs of discomfort, really not sure, looking for a place to flee, and then eventually flying away. Ideally, Dave would have stopped at the very first signs of discomfort, paused, waited for signs of comfort again, or even disinterest, then walked away and given that reinforcement. Instead, he just blew out the threshold completely, and the bird loses trust when you do this and realizes that it needs to flee much earlier because you don't catch on to the more subtle signs that it gives. All right, so now that you guys have seen how to do this unsuccessfully, which is ignoring body language, blowing out thresholds, blowing out trust, and waiting for the super obvious signs of get away from me, or I have to get away from you first, or if you're dealing with aggressive bird, then it probably attacked you at that point. Now I want to show you guys how to properly utilize this technique. And the number one thing about it is being super in tune with your bird, being able to read its body language. If you cannot read your bird's body language, please have someone there with you who can. Ideally, if the bird doesn't let you get close, it probably lets somebody else get close, and that person may have a better judgment call on when the bird is uncomfortable. So if you can have that person in the room, in an area that is not distracting for the bird, but somewhere close enough that they can signal for you to move forward, pause, back up, that is incredibly helpful to somebody who is not confident in reading the bird's body language on their own. So the idea of this training technique is that you are no longer the cue for aggressive or fearful or freak out of any kind, however your bird is responding, and you now become the cue for calm. So we're really putting calm on cue, and you are the cue. Some obvious signs of calm in parrots are yawning, not looking at you, kind of looking away, looking disinterested, attention on something else. Maybe a little bit of a fluffed up or a shake, kind of getting comfortable, sort of shake. Definitely balancing on one foot would be calm. Sleeping would be a little too calm for this, then they're not really paying attention at all. But you're looking for those signs of calm, and if that's just your bird not shaking and not freaking out, then that can definitely be one thing. It's going to vary bird to bird based on the severity of the relationship issue. So how bad is the relationship with the person that's doing this or the object that's doing this? So just some things to look for as a few tips and tricks and ideas. Now I want to chat about some signs of body language that equal discomfort. Discomfort can be as subtle as all the feathers streamlining, which means going really close to the body, going down, the bird's attention, kind of standing taller, getting the bird's attention where it just will not take its eyes off you because it doesn't trust what you are about to do. A shift in body weight can also indicate slight discomfort. Turning around to either turn around to not face you because they want to flee, or turning around to face you to attack, depending on which type of bird you're dealing with. Some other signs of discomfort would probably be any sort of vocalization of a growl or some sort of warning vocalization. That means you've really blown out the threshold and you went too far. We don't want any bird vocalizing their discomfort. We want to get it earlier than that, ideally. Now, the more obvious signs that you don't want to see is anything where the bird is hunched down, ready to fly off, anything where the bird is completely hunkered down, all feathers up, tail fanned, beak open, a lunging sort of position or attack position, or any sort of really obvious fleeing position. You also don't want a bird who is being anxious, so pacing, kind of trying to look for a way out, so to say, or a bird that is retreating, starting to climb down the perch or starting to look for a way to get out of the situation. Those are things that mean that you've pushed way too hard, way too fast, and you don't want to see those obvious signs of discomfort. You want to see the itty bitty minute subtle signs of discomfort so that the bird understands that you are in tune with how it's feeling, and it can communicate to you through those subtle signs of body language, so it doesn't have to resort to the really obvious ones that put us all in a predicament that we don't want of hurting the relationship. Do you want me to follow anything up with a tree or no?
Let's just see how this goes. Let me get closer.
Can I change where I'm filming from? Want to take a break? So you made it pretty far, right?
Sure.
Good job, bud. Do you like, you don't like pistachios? Alright. What do you like? Walnut. Good job. That did make it 8 feet closer to you.
Get one more.
Hmm?
We can get one more. I got closer.
Hmm?
I got closer.
Cool.
What'd you get? What is it? Can't get closer than this.
Can't get closer than that. Just do another rep there then.
Can you give him a treat on the next one?
Yeah. I'm ready. Uh-oh.
So you grab it.
You saw I grabbed a treat.
Oh, I was meaning after I clicked.
I know. I just felt like he wasn't gonna show calm because he had seen me go for the treat.
He's not gonna let me get closer.
That's the spot.
Yeah.
Would you be more comfortable if you turned around this way?
I think we should have more distractions in the background.
That was good. Because he basically was like, I think I'm gonna leave, and he made the choice to stay.
He was just really hiding though, I thought.
That was really good. That was awesome.
Did you teach him no?
I was just trying to figure out if I worked on that. I think it's been paired with bathing a little bit. Good job. This interest. Face. Stick. Back off and take a break. That was awesome progress. Basically there to there. That was really good. Face he made when you were right there. Those people. That's so goofy. I was trying not to laugh at it. I'm gonna take a break. Oh, you don't like lemons. I'm gonna turn around actually. When do you turn around? Do you have a clicker?
Yeah. It's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing awesome. Good job, bud. That was so good.
One of those. Recording, so.
Yeah. Yay! I'll take both. It's okay.
Wait, it's-
Maybe try to muffle the sound. There you go. I'm gonna try to move this way so I can get you guys both in the shot.
Move towards me.
That's awesome. You did it! So I do understand that there's a lot of variables to this technique, and it seems really simple in context, but sometimes when you go to implement it with your own bird, you have a lot of questions. Totally get that. If you find yourself wanting to implement this technique, but you still have a lot of questions surrounding it, feel like you need a little bit more one-on-one help or guidance through this sort of technique, feel free to book a consultation with my husband and I, and we will help you implement and even know if the power pause technique is right for you and your situation, or if there's a different technique that you can use. That's what consultations are for. It's to help you work through your unique problems with your unique personality and bird. So don't feel afraid to contact us and ask us for help when you need it. BirdTricks.com. If you guys are wondering what next after the power pause and you received a transformation of being able to now get close to your bird without it freaking out about your presence, and it's actually learned that you are nothing to fear or be mad about, now you can finally start using positive reinforcement, which is what we primarily like to use when we are training birds, and now you should be able to give a treat. So yay for moving on to positive reinforcement. That's the part of the quadrant that you want to be primarily working in. So now that you're close enough to give a positive reinforcement versus be a positive punishment to your bird, you can really start working on your relationship in a lot more ways. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in a comment below, or if you still have questions, feel free to join me over at patreon.com/BirdTricks, where I'm going to do a Q&A with my patrons regarding everything topic about the power pause, how to use it, how not to use it, any remaining questions you guys may have about the technique and how to best implement it, because again, it's a very universal sort of training technique, and it doesn't have to just be done how we showed it to you here today. It doesn't have to be a human in that spot. It could actually be an object. So this training goes way above and beyond just the utilization that we showed in our situation. So anyways, I hope you guys will join us over there and ask lots of questions, because I think it'll be an awesome topic to talk about and get everybody's opinions on.